Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei becomes the legendary Pokémon Master together with Rias Gremory Part 1. Before we start, please go support AndresFelipeSolanoDi for writing that awesome fanfic. Now let's begin. This is the translated version I made. There will be some wrong he or she calling here because it's translated, so let me clear this. Issei is a male in this story. Chapter 1. An incredible world. A long time ago, two universes collided that caused a fusion between those two universes, in turn, that caused the human world and Pokémon to exist in harmony together. That's right, creatures called Pokémon appeared, however for peace and safety, they divided the human and Pokémon plane, creating the same world, a world where only Pokémon live, although Pokémon visit the human world sometimes. Some entered in physical form, others preferred to enter in spiritual form, so as not to be easily seen and not attract attention. When this happened, the Pokémon chose humans to fuse, giving them long life, even eternal, as well as powers capable of changing the course of the world. The story of someone whom time forgot with the passing of the years begins again. The great adventure is about to begin. Ring 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 ring. Hello. Issei. Damn alarm, just a little more sleep. At that moment the door opens. Rias. Issei, wake up. Issei. Damn. Rias. I knew that you could hit the alarm, say a little more sleepy and sleep all day, so yesterday I took the copy of your keys, I got up earlier, went into your apartment and prepared all the breakfast. Issei. I don't mean to say that it sounds worrying, but it is. Rias. Then. Issei. I'm up now. Rias. I'll wait for you in the dining room. Smiles. This would slowly change as he yawned. My name is Johto Issei. I am a person without aspirations and without dreams, my only wish is to live quietly and in peace. After all, there is nothing wrong with many of us looking for a place to stay, and well, this is mine, Kanto. The place where I could always live in peace, or that's what I thought. Rias. What do you think? Issei. I have to say that you look like a wife. Rias. Ah, how cute, you make me blush. Issei. Don't you think you exaggerated too much? Rias. You promised to come with me to see me get my Pokémon. She is my childhood friend, an orphan from an orphanage here in Kanto. After growing up, she started working and moved near me. She is very lively, with a proud and brave personality. It doesn't bother me at all, although you never make her angry. Issei. If I promised, I wouldn't miss it. Rias. I know you wouldn't do it, after all it would be a bloodbath. Smiles. Issei. Honestly, I'm glad I woke up. Despite everything, she has a kind heart and a proud personality. We have taken care of each other curiously before me. Whoever condemns me to loneliness so as not to suffer now, I cannot imagine a day without it. Which doesn't bother me considering my past. This is the happiest thing that has ever happened to me. Rias. I hope to make a contract with a Pokémon. Issei. Because of your flaming personality and that crimson hair of yours, I bet it will be a high-level fire-type Pokémon. When Pokémon comes to this world, they choose trainers, or rather subjects, to be with, they make the contract, and their soul is linked to the Pokémon, allowing them two things. To use their power calmly and extend their life. This of course depends on the type of rarity. Rias. I hope my Pokémon is high level. Issei. Surely it could be a very tall one. The rarity of Pokémon is common. You live 100 years longer. Rare. You live 200 more years. Special. You live 500 more years. Rare. You live 10,000 more years. Epic. You live 1 million more years. Singular, pseudo-legendary or semi-legendary, legendary, mythical. You live eternally. Rias. Issei, you have a lot of knowledge about Pokémon. Issei. I guess I can say I'm an expert to a certain extent. Continues eating. Rias. Do you know, when I was a child, when I went to the orphanage, you said that you went with your parents until I discovered that you were a child living alone. Issei. If he holds. Rias. My answer is the same as back then. If you don't want to say something, don't worry, I won't ask more, and if you want to talk, I'll listen to you. That's what friends are for. Issei. Smiles. That's why it's so hard for me to value these moments, knowing that with the passage of time they will go away. Rias. Well, I'll be fine if I get any Pokémon, even if it's common. After all, Pokémon can evolve within you, increasing the power of the bearer and, in turn, its class. Issei. That's true, but if you get a Pokémon that requires the evolution stone, or it will be difficult for you. Rias. Do not give encouragement. Issei. What can I tell you, I'm a realist. Rias. Anyway, many take this seriously as if something bad was going to happen. Issei. Sighs. With the arrival of these creatures the world changed, and the Pokémon were granted powers. They can be used as weapons and objects, which they are not but can be. Rias. I think it's horrible that that happens. Issei. The world is bigger now and I sincerely want peace and quiet. Rias. By the way, your Pokémon is a Pikachu. Issei. Yes, we get along very well. Rias. It is true that you can summon him to the human world. Issei. Yes, thanks to that many Pokémon are seen in the human world, I think it's good that we live together. Rias. I don't see you doing that with your Pikachu. Issei. Honestly, he and I prefer everything relaxed. Rias. Sighs, what will I do with you until your Pokémon is weak? Issei. Well, let's finish breakfast, it's going to be late. Rias. Yes. After that we went to the place where we would make the contracts, the place as always was noisy, full of cameras and interviewers. Rias. Trembling. Issei. You'll be fine. Rias. It's not that, I'm afraid that something bad could happen. Issei. Please, what is the probability that something bad will happen at this moment and in this exact place everything will be fine? Rias. You're right. Rias. Gremory, please go ahead and make the contract. Issei. I'll cheer you on from afar. Rias. Nods. Administrator. Please come here, relax your body and wait a maximum of 5 minutes. If you do not receive a response within 5 minutes you will not receive a Pokémon and you will have to try again next time. Rias. Yes. At that moment she landed on the platform and closed her eyes. Issei. Well, I guess I'll leave for a minute to buy something to eat and greet her with something in my hands. When walking I would look around at the children laughing and the Pokémon rising happily. Issei. It is a beautiful world in my opinion, according to Ria's character of her, he asked me what she will achieve. She is proud, brave and without fear of anything. A person's personality determines the Pokémon, or maybe it is the heart. Meanwhile, laughing, she felt like she was floating in a dark place, and in it she felt like two big eyes were looking at her. Suddenly a voice responded. You who destroy. You who annihilate. Absorbing life. Always reborn in a cycle of life and death. You who die and are reborn again and again. I choose you and you will be my carrier. The messenger of destruction. Administrator. W. What is that? Journalists. Hey, what is that? It looks dangerous. Administrator. This pressure, this strength, what Pokémon is that? At that moment the children were scared as well as the adults. They contemplated a red chrysalis. Floating in the sky. The chrysalis of destruction. Issei. Hey, what is this power? Looks at the sky. What is that? What generation is that Pokémon? No, that doesn't matter, you're right there. Starts running. But the people. The great tremor began, then a blood-red whirlpool formed that was going down towards the estuaries. The pressure was so strong that it was dangerous for everyone. Administrator. This only a legendary Pokémon could do it. Journalists. This is dangerous, everybody run. Rias. Opens eyes, what is that? Issei. Laugh. Rias. Issei, what's happening? The area was being destroyed, the Pokémon were scared, they were running in fear. At that point the whirlpool would take the rivers and raise them to the heavens. Rias. Scared, what is it, what are you? But without responding to her words, the Pokémon began to enter her. Rias. Aya. Issei. Laughs, damn, a legendary Pokémon. I didn't think she would summon one, even when the contract is made the area could be devastated. I need to stop it. Closes eyes, if you are there, give me your power. At that moment, symbols appeared on Issei's body of her and like a flash, a storm would surround the entire area. Burst. A huge explosion would occur devastating the entire area. 2 days later. Rias. Wakes up. Where am I? Issei. You woke up. Rias. Issei K. Issei. Calm down, don't get up abruptly without knowing the situation of your body. Rias. I hurt. Issei. It wasn't your fault, no one could have predicted that the Pokémon that would choose you would be a legendary one. Rias. Shocked, it's legendary. Issei. That's how it is when a contract is made with a legendary Pokémon. The area is devastated to prevent that. It is done in security facilities, but obviously it is measured by the potential of the person and only the rich and prestigious do it. They don't think that it can happen to the poor like us. Rias. Us. Issei. You are here in my house, I took care of you for 2 days, to bring you here I had to prevent you from destroying the entire town. Rias. Oh well, you. Issei. That's right, I have a legendary Pokémon, in fact more than one. Rias. Faints. Issei. News like that to someone who has just woken up from a crisis is not a good idea, but on the other hand, it gives me more time to rest. Goes to bed. After some time passed, Rias stood up and hit me for hiding such a secret after he asked me what Pokémon I had and I told him, plus Pikachu is the only common Pokémon I have as a facade because I found it adorable. Rias. You really are incredible. Issei. Aren't you going to ask why someone who could have everything lives here? Rias. Not at all, after all I have known you for a long time to have the answer. Issei. That's it. Rias. So when you met me, how old were you? Issei. Considering that I have eternal life, I stopped counting the years, but it dates back a long time. Rias. So that's why you made a strange face when I left. Issei. Having eternal life is not fun if you spend it alone. Rias. Issei perhaps. Issei. You were going to die sooner or later, and I would be alone again, that's why I thought about living in isolation. Rias. You're an idiot, you know. Issei. I know better than anyone. Rias. But that means that if I have a legendary Pokémon. Issei. Yes, you have eternal life. Rias. How good. Issei. Why? You condemn yourself to a lonely existence. Rias. It's not true, I'm with you. Issei. Opens eyes wide, damn, you are an incredible woman. Rias. Say what you want, you have no other choice, Smiles. Issei. No, I don't have it, Smiles. Rias. And what is my Pokémon? I have never seen anything like that. Issei. I'm sure you want to know. Rias. Yes. Issei. It's why I rather Yveltal. Rias. Yveltal. Issei. It is a Pokémon from the 6th generation, and it is the counterpart of Cedruin. Rias. It's an evil Pokémon, right? Issei. Size. About 800 years ago, the Pokémon called Yveltal spread its ominous wings to plunge the Kalos region into darkness. Every human and Pokémon that was covered by the shadow fell dead in agony. Then, Yveltal let out a piercing cry and took flight to an unknown destination. They say that Yveltal is a terrible Pokémon that, sensing the end of its millennium of life approaching, sucks the vital essence of everything around it in order to accumulate energy for itself. Another story claims that when a cruel war ravaged Kalos 3,000 years ago, a Pokémon appeared out of nowhere and snatched the vital essence from countless victims. Some claim that this Pokémon was none other than Yveltal itself, although there is no way to know. It is said that when Yveltal finished accumulating energy, it transformed into a kind of chrysalis that remains hidden deep within the mountains in the Pokémon world. Rias. A Pokémon from another region in Kanto, is that possible? Issei. The logical thing would be for Kanto Pokémon to appear to make contracts, they won't appear from Kalos or another region. I'm not saying it doesn't happen or is impossible, but it's not common, but logic doesn't apply with the legendary ones. Rias. Then I am the messenger who will bring the end and destruction. Issei. No, you decide how to use that power. Many categorize a Pokémon as evil just because of its abilities. And it is not evil, its job and nature is to bring death so that new life can emerge, that is not evil, it is the natural order of things, and you are the one who gives way to life. Rias. Smiles. Thanks Issei, I feel better. Issei. You're welcome, plus with the Pokémon that I have, some of them were categorized as bad at the time. Rias. Now what am I supposed to do? Issei. Whatever you want. Rias. So if I tell you that despite everything that has happened and that now that I have a legendary Pokémon, I have not abandoned my dream of wanting to see the world, I still want to make it a reality, will you accompany me to fulfill it? Issei. Smiles because seeing the world is something peaceful anyway, it doesn't interfere with my goal of a peaceful life. Rias. So when are we leaving? Issei. Well, I think we should leave Popsicle Town as soon as possible. Rias. Hey, what are you talking about? Issei. Well, you destroyed an entire area, many people claim to have seen a legendary Pokémon, and the police will come to investigate, not only the police, all the agents in the world will come, you obtained a legendary Pokémon, which you hope no one would say anything. Rias. Damn. Issei. Prepare your things to travel and one thing, when making a pact with a legendary Pokémon you can do it with a lower level one, I recommend that you do it with a common Pokémon before we leave, so as not to raise anyone's suspicions, they will not reject you since you have the authority of a legendary, and you do not need to be in contract places to obtain the Pokémon. Rias. Yes, I'll be right back. Leaves. Issei. I honestly feel like Peaceful will be little. Are you sure that she will be able to control the power of and it is not easy at all? Issei. And he is not aggressive and his behavior is based on life, but now that he made a pact, Rias has control of him. That is only if she has a strong mind and will, if she fails and it will devour her. Issei. I won't let that happen. You know that you will have to kill her in the worst case. Issei. Rias knows it and I know it, but I already told you that case will not happen, after all I have something that I want to protect, and if I have to sacrifice unknown people instead of those I love I will do it. Well anyway, if the world opposes you you will always fight with it, if only the world knew how high the sky is, it would know that you are at the top or you are one of those who are in it. Issei. Coming from you it's a compliment. The figure in Issei's mind with green markings is managed to be seen. What awaits Issei in this new story of his life? Chapter 2. The beginning of a journey. As expected, the agents came quickly because a legendary Pokémon was reported, and upon seeing the damage they immediately assumed it was evil, of course they were looking for their contractor. Fortunately, Rias and I left before they arrived, but Kanto would be in trouble. Given the situation, we passed through Green City, we only resupplied and skipped that city to Silver City. The main reason is that it is close to Pallet Town, and the further away from rumors the better. So our destination was Silver City. Issei. We have finally arrived. Rias. So this is Silver City. Issei. Here there is more freedom to release the Pokémon in physical form, go ahead and leave. Pikachu. Pikachu. Rias. You two come out Charmander. 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 Issei. With these common Pokémon we won't attract the attention of others. Rias. By the way, when am I going to practice using my power? Issei. We have it complicated, Yveltal's power is annoying because it can steal all your life, and each legendary Pokémon has a power that no other has, which makes teaching difficult. In this case, doing it in open areas or cities is a bad idea. I think we should go to isolated areas. Rias. I understand you practiced like that. Issei. Not exactly, mine was about surviving. There was a time when the Pokémon came to the world and there was chaos and death. Rias. Hey, the Pokémon were our enemies. Issei. Their world was now shared with us, and humans never react well against beings different from us, we are aggressive by nature. Rias. So we cast the first stone. Issei. The humans were scared and so were they, fear and fear don't mix. Rias. Damn, but if the Pokémon were enemies, how do we fight them? We didn't have the powers they gave us back then, and the technology must have been primitive. Issei. A forced contract, basically it is about forcibly taming a Pokémon. The humans used that power to force the fusion with the Pokémon, acquiring their powers and changing the course of the battle. Rias. I've never heard that something like that could be done. Issei. Because now in these thousands of years of peace the prohibition of forced contracts was established, it is very dangerous, the more Pokémon you have, the harder it is to control it, and if the Pokémon resists you and does not accept you, it will continually give you problems. Rias. Then you. Issei. The world was bloody back then, I wanted to stop the war. Rias. But a contract with a legendary or greater Pokémon would not be suicide for a normal human. Issei. Certainly it is, but some legendaries have wise reasoning. I knew that although the Pokémon will win, at least the humans would do them a lot of harm, the greatest possible loss of life. Rias. Based on this he accepted. No, you made a forced contract. If he had accepted so easily you wouldn't have had to do it. Issei. Exactly, we made a bet who would last the longest without being found would be the other's prey. Rias. You cheated, right? Issei. As always, you know me well, he fell into my trap, but it was late, the contract was about to be made, and once inside my body he had no choice but to go ahead with me. It turns out that if I die, he dies, and even if he takes control, now he would be like a traitor to his species. It was a cruel but wise plan. Rias. Didn't you release him when peace came? Issei. I did it, but he wanted to formalize a contract, and well, I accepted. Apparently he said I was a good fighter. Rias. It's incredible that you have done things that are impossible for other people, and people don't know about you. Issei. It's not their fault, I asked to be erased from history. If I didn't they would treat me like a god, which I am not. A peaceful life is better, even without powerful people the world continues to spin and people learn. Rias. That's true, I don't think you chose wrong. Issei. For now let's focus on travel. Rias. After all this we would be coaches. Issei. In a way we would be Smiles. Rias. Although with our Pokémon we should avoid gyms. Issei. It would certainly be a piece of cake with a legendary Pokémon. Rias. In Pallet Town you always watch the news and battles, you found them funny. Issei. They really are. I think that a team fight strengthens the bonds with your Pokémon. Rias. I asked him who will be the strongest coach. Issei. Millimeters. Well, that would be easy, I would say my brother. Rias. He. What, you have a brother? Issei. I have it, only that many years ago, I told him that he would live a peaceful life, he understood and went to explore the world. These last years he has definitely been very active. Rias. He's your brother, he must have. Issei. He's my brother that you expected, of course he must have legendary Pokémon. Volley. Smiles. What are you doing? Rias. You haven't heard from him? Issei. I stopped knowing about him a long time ago, but knowing him he must have the appearance of my own age. Rias. It's true that you are eternal, they change your appearance. Issei. See the good point, many women worry about getting older. Now being eternal you don't have to worry, and your breasts will remain firm. Rias. Blushes. B. Issei. Rias. Baka hits him in the face. Issei. I still think that an eternity together will not always be flowers and roses. Faints. But in the shadows you could see that someone was watching them. One day later. Issei. Well, Rias went to see the city and I'm completely alone, so are you going to leave, or do I have to blow the city to pieces for you to leave? As always, very insightful Issei. Issei. Hello handsome, how long? Handsome. Not enough from what I see. Issei. You are an international police agent and your specialty is evil organizations. Handsome. Yes, but they asked me to investigate to see if it was a terrorist attack, however, when I found out that it was a legendary Pokémon I followed the clues. Issei. I thought I hadn't left any traces in Green City. Handsome. You know I'm good at following clues. Issei. Why haven't you raised the alarm? Handsome. Because the problem involves you and that makes it complicated. Issei. I guess you've seen both of us for a while, right? Handsome. Yes, and then she is the girl who devastated an area. Issei. Yes, she is. Handsome. No one could foresee that he would summon a legendary Pokémon. It is normal for a legendary Pokémon to destroy the area when summoned, so it is not his fault. He could stay and explain the situation, why he didn't have I done it. Issei. That would put her in everyone's side of her, and her Pokémon of her is why. Handsome. Shocked. See, how is it that not being you should know that Pokémon has bad intentions and that Pokémon doesn't, but and it's dangerous. Issei. We'll have to learn to control it. Handsome. This is not Kalo's Issei, legendary Pokémon unknown to this region always bring fear. Issei. So you say that if the people of Kanto are informed they won't be afraid. Handsome. No, but something must be done. Issei. I'm here to worry about as long as he's around, nothing bad will happen to him. Handsome. I'm not talking about her, but about you, I'm worried about you. Issei. I haven't done anything to be scary. Handsome. Seriously, you know that in my eyes you and her seemed happy together. Issei. Where do you want to go? Handsome. If something happens to him, you could destroy the world. Issei. Handsome, answer me something. You have known me for a long time because of our meeting in the past, then tell me if I want to destroy the world, who the hell can stop me? His eyes were dark with a bright green as you could see that something wanted to come out. Handsome. Shiver. Certainly people are limited or scarce, but I just hope you don't lose that sense of good and evil that you have. Issei. I already told you I won't do anything bad, I only fought in self-defense and to protect her, nothing more. Handsome. Sigh. Then I guess I'll have to go. Issei. What will happen to the police and agents? Handsome. Obviously they will be attentive throughout Kanto looking for her, she is a legendary Pokémon, I can't distract them, you already know the situation with a legendary Pokémon. Issei. So what do you recommend? Handsome. The most prudent thing would be to get away from Kanto because you are not going to Johto. Issei. Certainly Johto is located west of Kanto, I could easily mislead them. Handsome. After a while they will give up. Issei. I think about registering and being a trainer to travel the world. Handsome. You're not kidding. Issei. I never do it. Handsome. Honestly, you are like a walking calamity, I can't deny you your human rights to travel, but please be careful. Issei. I know very well. And how has Team Rocket been? Handsome. Things got out of hand. Issei. I thought they were on the verge of the end. Handsome. They were until they merged with another organization, now we call them Chaos Rocket. Issei. There are always organizations like that, so do they still have the idea of dominating the human world? Handsome. No, they want to rule the entire universe. After those words Issei's gaze would become very serious and he would look at the sky. Issei. To do something of that scope they need to be able. Handsome. Believe me when I tell you that they don't need it, unique and out of this world Pokémon have been confirmed. Issei. That's a problem. Handsome. Definitely, we only know the Pokémon that are on Earth, but they decided to make their world apart to live in peace, but let's remember that it was a fusion of universes out in space, maybe how many unknown Pokémon there are. Issei. I'll be attentive if you're worried. Handsome. Thanks. Issei. By the way, invalid. Handsome. Your brother is always hard to track, but he is more different than you, he doesn't care about dissembling, and there have already been sightings of legendary ones in many regions, he doesn't stay still. Issei. That's what I assumed. Well, if you'll excuse me, I'll go with Rias. Handsome. Issei. Issei. Yes. Handsome. I hope you are being happy. Smiles. Goodbye. Leaves. Issei. I can't deny that. Smiles. After what happened, I met Rias and suggested she go to Johto, which she accepted would be a long trip and a farewell to Kanto. On our march to Johto he asked me what awaits us. Rias. Epic, singular, legendary or mythical. Issei. Rias, what are you doing? Rias. Reading the different Pokémon classes. Issei. What exactly for? Rias. I don't understand some things, it says that a singular Pokémon can be legendary and even stronger, how is that possible? Issei. That's it, singular Pokémon are Pokémon that are so rare that their sightings are rumors and have even become legends. Obviously, not all singular Pokémon are legendary, some are simply singular, others are semi-legendary, and others are legendary, even mythical. Rias. I didn't imagine something like that. Issei. Example, do you know the legend of Mew? Rias. If it is the ancestor of all existing Pokémon, it was shrouded in rumors and myths, plus almost no one has seen it. Rias. So he's a singular legendary Pokémon. Issei. Yes, more specifically singular legendary mythical. Rias. I'm surprised someone like you didn't dream of catching him. Issei. I couldn't. Rias. Hey, maybe he's stronger. Issei. It's not that, to catch Mew you need a pure soul, free of hatred and resentment that never wants to fight to hurt, only to protect. Rias. But how do you protect without fighting, and how do you never feel hate if human beings are feeling machines and not all of them are good feelings? Issei. Exactly, that's why no human will be able to capture Mew even by force, his soul would not harden, if a villain did it, his soul would immediately be destroyed by Mew's kindness. Rias. What a scary Pokémon even though it sounds good. Issei. Yes, Mew has something unique and possibly coveted, you know that every legendary Pokémon has its own thing. Rias. Yes. Issei. He is capable of using all types of plant, rock, etc. power. Rias. Incredible. Issei. Yes, but as I said, no one could have Mew stops. At that moment I remembered something, the image of a blonde girl and her gentle voice. Hey, you're hurt, let me take you to the hospital. Rias. Did something happen? Issei. No, nothing, I just remembered the past, let's continue. Rias. Yes. Issei. For a Pokémon like Mew that is playful and pure-hearted, maybe no, what is the possibility that someone would always maintain such kindness, since the human heart is changeable, it would really have to be very good if not. Rias. One thing above legendary is mythical that encompasses that place. Issei. You know our planet is bigger now thanks to them. Rias. Yes. Issei. Pokémon that participated in things related to the world or universe, that is the mythical category. Rias. I think I can understand the power difference more. Issei. Yes, it is difficult to memorize all that information, but over time it sticks. At that moment explosions would occur behind and a subject would come out of the fire. This one had the appearance of a thief and eyes with the intention of killing and was also transformed, it was a fusion with Jengar. Stop right there, you two, and please don't resist, I'll take all your belongings and play with the woman next to you. Issei. Rias, this area is an uninhabited road. Rias. Yes. Issei. You can practice with Y. Rias. Smiles. Issei. And don't worry, bad people don't deserve mercy. Rias. Understood. At that moment his body would begin to transform, it would change shape, marks would appear on his body, his arms would be covered in red blood, huge horns would grow on his head, and his hands would eventually turn into claws. Issei. It's your first time transforming so be careful. Rias. Don't worry, I'll take his life from him. Chapter 3. Arrival in Johto and trouble approaching. The attacker was in front of them, fused with Jengar, he had made the atmosphere a little sinister, however, when it was time for her to transform, the atmosphere became dangerous, the feeling of death in the opponent's body was present when he saw her, even his Pokémon was so scared that he wanted to get away. Jen. What is this woman, my whole body trembles. Rias. What is your name? Jen. Jen. Rias. Well Jean, I'm sorry, I don't think I can treat you well. Jean. TCH, who do you think you are, damn woman, die. Issei. That's a bad idea, boy. Immediately the Rias energy would shoot towards Jen and immediately his body would slowly turn into stone. Jen. W, what is this, what kind of attack is this? Issei. Legendary Pokémon have special powers apart from movements, that is why legendary Pokémon are coveted. Jen. L legendary. Issei. In the case of Yveltal it absorbs the vitality of all living beings, it goes without saying that it is deadly once it catches you, if you want to resist you must have very high vitality or a Pokémon of the same category. Jean. Damn. Immediately Jen would turn into stone, no vitality or life could be felt in him, he was simply a statue after such action. Rias returned to her original form somewhat shocked. Rias. He is. Issei. You said you would end his life, he is dead. Rias. I said that. Issei. Y's influence is greater than I thought, your mind should never be controlled by the Pokémon when fighting or this will happen, and I teach you a lesson in its own way. Rias. Tremble. Issei. Still, the first time you kill it doesn't feel good, I understand, take your time to process it. Rias. I need to go to the bush for a moment. Rias face to Ella had her hand to Ella covering her mouth to Ella, she wanted to vomit quickly. Issei. Approaches Jen, I needed experience killing, I fear is something I had to acquire, and it was a good decision. Don't you think you're speeding things up? It seems like you agree with that Pokémon and its way of doing things. Issei. No, in fact I am forced to agree with him, she has a legendary Pokémon, the first good people never approach those who receive one, and he is not stupid. That's true. Issei. But I have to admire Reveltal, stealing life energy is a more calm, relaxed and non-violent killing style, it was a painless death for this guy, we can say that he was considerate of his user. That's because I also consider Pokémon Y to be the best option, surely a bloodless death wouldn't leave as much trauma as a brutal and bloody death, it would be quick for Rias to digest it. Issei. Do you think he has communicated with her? No, but he seems to understand your intentions and has already shown interest in you. Issei. Well, it won't take long for him to communicate or for me to do it first. You're going to have a hard time subduing that Pokémon. Issei. When you've seen that fighting a legendary isn't difficult and tedious, but the reward of subduing it is what makes it rewarding. Well, let's hope everything goes well. Issei. Changing the topic, we must take care of this. A statue of a person on the road would attract attention. Issei. Well, let's destroy it before someone comes. After cleaning the crime scene, Issei would see Rias coming, her hands were still shaking, her mouth had drool, although only a little, she had obviously vomited, and her face was still a little in shock, she still hadn't digested the matter, which it was normal being her first time killing. Rias. Trembling. Issei. Holds his hand. Rias. Issei. Issei. You don't have to torture yourself, bad people don't do any good to this world, they are better dead than alive, the same with Pokémon, however I understand that killing is difficult and you can rely on me when necessary. Rias. Always giving me encouragement when I really need it. Smiles. Let's continue although I still feel dizzy. Issei. I'll hold your hand all the way, don't worry. Blush. Ah, what a beautiful couple. Issei. Shut up. They would continue walking as the sun set. Shortly after, they would make a tent with some things they had brought. Rias snuggled with Issei, she wanted to make sure she slept well, and after the above she felt more comfortable next to him. Rias. Good night Issei. Issei. Good night. Rias falls asleep quickly. He fell asleep. Issei. Apparently yes, you can establish a connection with and. I want you to know that it could be aggressive in the worst case. Issei. I hope not, go ahead and do it. Immediately Issei's hand rested on top of Rias' head, a green light spread in the tent, and once this was done his mind was transported to Rias, however the space was dark or so it seemed, a crimson light was not long in making itself present. The chrysalis of destruction was in front of Issei, immediately and it was present in front of him. Yveltal. Human, I see you've come. Issei. So you are the legendary Pokémon Yveltal. Yveltal. I notice you are very calm, although it is normal considering who supports you. Issei. Yes, not many make me have to use two legendary Pokémon at the same time, but I guess if the city didn't do it and the people would be dead that time. Yveltal. I can't control it, it was a normal process when joining the human. Issei. Why her? No, the best question is why did you come, a Pokémon from another region, to Kanto and took Rias? Yveltal. Rating. Issei. Rating. You're trying to say that she's the best for your power. Yveltal. Yes, we Pokémon can't control the affinity, it just happens as a lucky event because yes and that's it, she was born with a high compatibility rate with me, no it is better to say that she was born with the best compatibility rate with me. Issei. True, the Pokémon with a better compatibility rate tends to exercise their powers better. Yveltal. Exactly, and she is the only one who has reached 100% compatibility rate with me. Issei. What? Yveltal. Does it seem strange to you? There were times when many humans had the highest compatibility rate, however in these times that is already difficult. Issei. I want to clarify that that was because at that time the survival of humanity was on the ground thanks to you. Yveltal. However now that humanity and Pokémon have their separate worlds and there are no more fights spending their lives living with each other, the compatibility rate with legendaries decreased. Issei. I thought the legendaries preferred to stay in their world. Yveltal. Normally this is the case, but there are some who are greedy and long to return here. Issei. If you are a legendary Pokémon there should be no problem crossing to another world, however this would attract the attention of unwanted and greedy people. Yveltal. That is why it is preferable to get an avatar to join with, but as I told you it is difficult and some Pokémon can cause problems because of it. Issei. In your case, what are you planning? Yveltal. I simply seek to live my life peacefully and see through the eyes of my avatar, no rather Rias Gremory, the world or rather this extensive and infinite universe. Issei. Then you could let her take control of your power. Yveltal. It's not that easy, you ask me to leave a weapon to a child. Issei. That's why you should communicate with her and talk to her, she needs your help, only you know your limits. Yveltal. Okay, I'll do it, but be careful in the future. Issei. What do you mean? Yveltal. Some Pokémon of different types, including some legendary ones, have crossed the line between worlds, they may not come with good intentions. Issei. Seriously, the god over there isn't in charge of that. Yveltal. We haven't seen him in a long time, he's in his personal dimension. Issei. I hope I don't get involved in territorial disputes in Johto. Yveltal. Who knows, just as there are bad humans, there are also evil Pokémon, malice exists in every living being. But those words Issei would return to reality and go to sleep, taking into account the words of why. In the morning. Issei. Yawns. Rias. You woke up early. Issei. Yes. And what are you doing? Rias. You know, before you get into my head, you should ask my permission. Issei. You talk to and. Rias. Yes, and you should tell me about these things. Issei. I'm sorry, but I would have to explain how, why, etc., and the truth is I was very lazy. Rias. Issei. Once again I received a scolding from Rias that day, after time we arrived at Johto, or rather Springtown. Issei. Finally a place where I can find a comfortable bed. Rias. Don't get used to it, our journey across Johto begins. Issei. Yes, let's look for a restaurant to eat. Rias. There should be one nearby. After walking for approximately 2 minutes, they had already found a restaurant and sat in the back. Rias. Because we sit at the back like criminals. Issei. Because here I have a better view for television. Rias. Sighs. Issei. Leaving that aside, he is awake or can talk during the day. Why? My sleep cycle is the same as yours. Rias. Wait, it's okay to speak out loud. Issei. Calm down, Pokémon like him can decide who can hear him and who can't. Rias. By the way, you told me all your legendary Pokémon, but you never told me how important they were. I know they are legendary, but as far as I know, some are very important for some regions, they praise them like a god, some even fear them. Issei. If I say it, you'll be worried and overprotective the whole way. And? What he means is, don't be a bother, you might embarrass me. Rias. Oh really? Issei. I didn't say that, I just think that avoiding unnecessary worries is the best. Rias. Turns face. At that moment some news would appear on television. News. The police are still looking for the person who caused the disturbance in Kanto, with nothing on his whereabouts or information about the person in general, there is not much they can do, however it is confirmed that he may have contacted a legendary Pokémon, the world government has acted and has sent a special investigator in this case. Rias. Oh no. Issei. Don't worry, I have a friend, they won't get anything from you. Rias. How good, it's a relief. Issei. Yes, you could say that we are fine for now. I guess it had to happen. Issei. Yes. I will need everyone to go to sleep including you. Okay. Rias. What's wrong with that? Why? Yes, human, I'm also intrigued. Sending all your Pokémon to sleep is the same as asking for death. You won't be able to defend yourself. Issei. I'm good at fighting Pikachu, it should be worth it. Rias. That's not the point of sending your Pokémon to sleep. Issei. It means that I won't be able to use them, basically think like they are in a dream and they will wake up when they hear my call. Rias. But why do you do that? Issei. Didn't you see the news, they will send a special government investigator. Rias. But I thought they couldn't find us. Issei. Not ordinary people, but yes, a special investigator is someone who has a high-level Pokémon, they track the energy emitted by a legendary. Rias. Then and I shouldn't go to sleep too. Issei. I'll see what I do, but if he doesn't stay awake, he will have to instruct you how to use his power. And? Tell me, how does your government work? Issei. They maintain the order of the world, as you know, humans with the powers of creatures that are more dangerous than any gun or weapon of mass destruction are out there loose, they need control rules, they make sure you comply with them. Rias. They take care of these cases, right? Issei. Like every organization they always try to get a legendary on their side. Rias. You try to avoid them. Issei. They are problematic, those in the government are sometimes not always the good ones. Rias. Do you think they are already looking for us? Issei. I think they may already be investigating. In a song. Matt. Energy of a legend as I assumed. Call. Do you have anything, Matt? Matt. Yes, it is definitely a legendary trail is huge. And the government? Matt. I'll think of something to tell you. Matt, you are our spy in the government, I don't want to lose a valuable piece, give false information to the government and use it to return to Johto, the organization has plans there, they need your support as soon as possible, we will get rid of those damn dogs once and for all. Matt. Are you sure about it, sir, losing a legendary is little benefit. If we win 3-1 doesn't matter, we need all the strength possible, understood? Matt. Okay sir, I'll return to Johto, it's a shame to leave it when I have time. I'll go after the legendary that appeared here. But Issei. The food was delicious. Let's find a place to sleep. Rias. I agree. Issei. Millimeters looks at the sky. Well, I think since I'm here I can visit some historical places and have fun. Laughs. Rias. Are you? Issei. Would you be interested in having a date in tourist places? Smiles. Rias. I thought you would never ask me. Smiles. This is how we started our adventure in Johto without knowing that we would get into huge problems. Chapter 4. Historical Places. Iris City. The breeze moved the golden leaves in the Iris City. Two young Issei and Rias walked through that city quietly. Rias. This city is beautiful and very warm. Issei. I agree with you. Rias. What are those? In front of them some people, all with shaved heads, would pass. Issei. They are monks or thinkers. Their mission is to protect some historical places in Johto. The bell tower is one of them. In fact, most of the historical places are in this city. Rias. Do you know the stories here? Issei. Of course not. Takes out a brochure. Take a Springtown brochure. It comes with information about the entire region. Rias. That's useful. Issei. Well, let's visit a well-known place in the brochure. Rias. Shining eyes. Yes. Issei. It's that one over there. At that moment, Ria's disappointed face would be shown when she saw a burned tower. Rias. That's it. Issei. Yes, I know it's disappointing, but it has a lot of history. Rias. It would have to be that. I mean, leaving a burned tower would be very worrying. That place isn't cursed, right? Issei. Well, let's hope not, but just in case we can always jump out the window. Rias. What if we are too high? Issei. We will survive. The two will walk towards the tower, and that a shadow behind them will follow them. Issei. Step he. Shake. Rias. Is something wrong? Issei. This place. Is something sacred? Why? I agree. I can feel a strong connection with the Pokémon world. It seems that this place is an intermediary between the barriers that separate the human and Pokémon world, a fragile point in fact. Rias. You mean there is a portal here that connects the worlds? And? Yes, in the human world some places with which it connects to the Pokémon world are territorial. Issei. This place must connect with one of them. Rias. Should we go in? Issei. Well, let's go in. The barriers between the worlds won't break just by our presence. We should literally do certain procedures to do so. At that moment when entering the atmosphere it was difficult something to describe. There were multiple sensations that were transmitted to both Issei and Rias. An old man appeared. Apparently he was a monk who was praying. Issei. Are you praying? Rias. I heard that many praise some Pokémon as gods. Issei. Believe me, not everyone is a god, even a Pokémon. Old man. I'm not praying, young people, I'm apologizing. Issei. Apologize for what? Elder. All the monks here think it is our duty for the sins committed in the past. Issei. I think it's useless, an apology doesn't fix anything. Rias. Hits him. Hey, more respect with the old man. Issei. Rubs his head. Ouch. I'm just telling the truth. Old man. The young man is right, apologizing does not remedy the past, but I just hope that my apologies are heard. Rias. What's going on here? Old man. In the past, before this old man was born, there was an incident. Humans chased 3 Pokémon to this tower, but in that a lightning bolt struck and set fire to this sacred tower, killing the Pokémon inside. Rias. That's horrible. Issei. Ah, my head. Old man. But then a legendary Pokémon appeared to put out the fire, preventing it from spreading. To this day, we know and respect him throughout the region as Ho-Oh. Rias. Ho-Oh, what a strange name. Issei. I heard stories about him. According to the myth he always leaves a rainbow when he passes by. Rias. How beautiful. Old man. I see that you are well informed. Issei. Does it mean that much to you? Elder. This Pokémon hopes that Pokémon and humans will live in perfect harmony with each other. It is said that when the rainbow appears after a storm it is because Ho-Oh is flying at a low altitude. According to legends, this Pokémon flies through the skies around the world, constantly flapping its 7-color wings. Issei. Ah, my head again. Rias. So this tower was important for that Pokémon. Elder. Regarding the participation of Ho-Oh, as you know there are 2 towers, the bell tower was previously his resting place. Rias. And this also has to do with Ho-Oh. Old man. If before it burned it was known as the brass tower, it was the resting place of another Pokémon called. Applaud. At that a person with a mask appeared behind them clapping. Matt. That's right, the old man tells some great stories, guys. Issei. This guy's aura of hostility is everywhere. Old man. It seems that evil has infested this sacred place. Matt. For a monk, he doesn't tell the whole story to tourists, but that keeps the greedy ones away. Old man. Not enough, I would say. Matt. Guys, I'll tell you the rest of the story when the bird appeared to stop the fire. Issei. Ah, hurts. Matt. There were 3 Pokémon that died in the flames and, unfortunately, they perished. Ho-Oh realized this and with his miraculous powers, he gave them new lives by giving them incredible powers. From that moment on they were known as Raikou. Personification of the lightning that struck the tower. Entei. Personification of the fire that burned the tower. Sukyun. Personification of the water that put out the flames. As he spoke, people in black suits and masks had gathered outside the tower surrounding it. This caught the attention of the people including the monks, but immediately. Burst. Old man. What's happening? Matt. Oh sorry, my men will cause problems out there. Rias. You guys, what do you want? Matt. Those 3 Pokémon are known as the legendary dog trio. Legend says that when Raikou, Entei and Sukyun ever meet, Ho-Oh will appear. Shaking. Issei. This doesn't sound good. Elder. What are your people planning? Matt. He doesn't need to know that, you'll be a dead monk. At that moment he would pierce the old man's heart with a fistful of fire, incinerating him. This shocked Rias and Issei, they immediately understood how dangerous the situation was. Matt. You looks at Rias, we've seen each other before, I think you're familiar to me. Rias. This doesn't look good, Issei. Issei. Ah, falls to the ground. Rias. Issei approaches, what do you have? Issei. They are coming. Rias. Who? Matt. Guys, I'll be back with you later. I have dogs to catch. He immediately went through the floor to the bottom, engulfed in flames, the tower was shaking, and even the fire was spreading. And the boy suffers. Rias. I know why. And the barriers with the Pokémon world are breaking right here, their legendary Pokémons react strongly with the Pokémon world. Rias. But I'm not lying on the floor in pain. And that is due to tremble. Rias. Picks it up. And there is no time jump. She would come out with him in her arms, noticing the subject surrounding the tower. Outside everything was destroyed, the monks were wounded on the ground, the people were in an uproar, but they still continued forward. Those men did not stop her, in fact they moved away, they just kept looking at the tower like statues. Issei. Rias. Hide. You are dangerous. Rias. Hide. Issei, what is? At that moment the burned tower collapsed, revealing only a dirt floor in the background. Matt, who was the cause of this and was standing in the center of this hard and cold ground. At that the barriers between the 2 worlds broke, reality was deformed, and 3 portals appeared above Matt, a storm began to form. Issei. It's late, they're coming. Rias. You haven't told me who you're talking about. Issei. About the dogs, I think he may be trying to summon them, something similar to when we make a contract, but instead of waiting for the Pokémon, he is forcing them to come. Rias. How can this be possible? Why? It is not. A legendary Pokémon will only appear in physical form if it wants to do so, that is how we are, nobody can force us. Unless. Rias. Hey, unless. And that the damn one has some story related to them. Rias. Story. Issei. Pokémon, especially the legendary ones, are attracted to important places or things related to the history of their myths and legends that define them as legendary. It can be anything like an old poem, an old house, the possibilities are many. And in this case, if you want to bring the 3 of them here, their birthplace is this tower, in the human world here they came back to life again, which is the same as being born again for them. Issei. But to summon all 3 of them he needs something more than just their birthplace, since at least he can only bring one, and it can be at random. Why? Yes, you need something specific to summon all 3 of them. Rias. Then. Issei. He must know, the damn one must have something. Matt. Now we begin. From the sleeve of his suit he took out some papers that seemed too old and began to recite a poem from the first paper. A steep valley, who will cross it? Whoever has faith will test his fate. A steep valley, who will cross it? No one dares to do so. What reason could there be? Wait for the great Raikou will arrive. And, in a single leap, the feat will be accomplished. The hero rides him, the feat will be achieved. At that moment, a huge roar was heard in the first portal, and slowly a head began to emerge until the entire body was shown. Rias. That's it. Issei. Yes, one of the 3 legendary dogs, Raikou. And those are the poems he is reciting. At that Matt continued reciting with the second roll. The colossal rock, who will move it? Whoever has faith, his strength will be tested. The colossal rock, who will destroy it? No one dares to do it. What reason will there be? Wait for the great Entei will arrive. And, with a single blow, the feat will be achieved. The hero rides him, the feat will be achieved. Then in the second portal another roar was heard, his feet were visualized, his head began to slowly emerge until his body was shown. At that Matt recited the last remaining paper. The mighty river, who will cross it? Whoever has faith will test his luck. The wild river, who will cross it? No one dares to do so. What reason is there? Wait for the great Sukyun will arrive. And swift over the water, the feat will be achieved. The hero rides him, the feat will be achieved. After reciting this last one in the third and last portal located in the center, the last of the three appeared, his body from his head also began to slowly emerge. This one, unlike the other two, was more beautiful and gorgeous, added to the fact that it did not make any roar, it simply stayed in the silent center. Issei and Rias stood still watching the scene. Matt. So these are the three legendary dogs of the legend. Well, they are not impressive at all seen up close, I expected them to be bigger, there is no difference between you and wild animals. Raikou? What insolence. Entei. Calm down Raikou, don't respond to provocations, if you start a storm many people could get hurt, but it seems that this human has already hurt many people. Raikou was angry and wanted to attack, while Entei was careful and calm, but looked at the human with displeasure, then Sukyun spoke. Sukyun. Human, our intention is to avoid combat, tell us why you have called us. Matt. Ho-Oh, bring it here. Sukyun. We're sorry, human, but we can't do that, it's not possible. Matt. I see, well, as I thought, the only way will be to get them to form a contract. Raikou. Enough of your insolence, human, what makes you think that we would form a contract with people like you who give off such an evil aura? Matt. True, you legendaries have the ability to see the malice of people, but I never said I was going to ask you nicely, I will put you to sleep and take you to form a contract whether you like it or not. Issei. I have a plan to do it. Rias. A forced contract. And. Miserable. Entei. Human, you know what will happen here if you take those actions. Matt. Of course I know Charizard. At that moment he would take off his mask, his body and clothes would change, he would work with his Pokémon showing his intentions to fight. Sukyun. Human, are you sure of what you are going to do? I will not give you another chance to take a step back, the three of us will finish you off. Rias. Issei is crazy, he will face three legendaries with a Charizard, he has no chance. Issei. Yes, anyone would think so, but if he is willing to fight it means. Matt. I certainly wouldn't have a chance 3 versus 1, however, how lucky I am to have this. He would immediately put on a bracelet, it had a shiny orb. Issei. Shock, damn that is. Matt. Charizard Mega Evolution. At that moment his body, clothes and skin would undergo a second transformation, his skin would change color, his clothes would stretch taking on other colors, his body would lengthen, 2 horns and fangs would emerge from his mouth, he was breathing fire. Rias. Tremble WHWH, what is it that? And? That human had something as annoying as that. Issei. A Mega Evolution. Matt. Now legendary dogs, any resistance against me is useless. Chapter 5. Capture. At the moment Matt had transformed again, the atmosphere changed, the legendary dogs were cautious. In an instant he attacked, a flare of blue fire coming out of his mouth. Entei. Dodge it. They quickly dodged it, however Matt stood in front of Sukyun and grabbed him with his hands to throw him to the ground. Sukyun. Ah. Rias. Takes the Issei. Issei. Ah, the pain got worse. Because. While the battle was taking place, she carried Issei and placed herself under a destroyed building, using the rubble to cover herself and hide. Entei. Naughty roar. Raikou. I'm covering myself. Sukyun. Gets up, we can't turn back, that human won't stop until he captures us. Raikou. Then we'll finish it before that happens. Matt. Did you finish the talk? Burst. Shock. Buildings were destroyed in their path, Entei, Sukyun, and Raikou were launching their attacks with force. On the other hand, Matt in his Mega Evolution state was dodging and blocking those attacks with great ease. Below a destroyed building were Rias and Issei, they had taken refuge due to Issei's condition, however the state of headache that Issei had continued. On the other hand, outside, the destruction of the city by the combat continued to increase, the civilians had quickly taken refuge. Rias. Issei, how do you feel? Issei. The pain continues, but it is no longer as strong as before. As it continues outside. Rias. Fighting everything is chaos. Burst. Issei. I was smart to ask you to hide. Rias. I don't understand what he did, why is he fighting very easily against 3 legendary Pokémon, and what is that form? Issei. It is certainly something that is not seen in these regions, you know it is evolution, right? Burst. Shock. Matt. This is too easy. Rias. If as we trainers spend time with our Pokémon we have the possibility of them evolving, an evolved Pokémon is much stronger. Issei. Correct, many when they get a Pokémon of a low rarity, their best option is to evolve it to gain more strength and years of life. The desperation to achieve evolution is so much that trainers fall into madness. Rias. Are you trying to say that Charizard has another evolution? Issei. Mega evolution is a temporary transformation where the capabilities of a Pokémon are greatly increased. A mega evolved Pokémon can confront the legendary ones, especially if they are not of a type in which it is at a disadvantage. Rias. Shocked, what in that case? No, but Charizard is fire flying type, Suicune could have a chance being water type. Issei. No. Rias. Hey. Issei. Some mega evolutions change the type of Pokémon. Burst. Suicune. Bubble Beam. That. Even if simple attacks like those increase their power because you are a legendary, it won't do anything to me. Rias. But what are you saying? Issei. Right now that Charizard is fire dragon type. Burst. Issei. His weaknesses changed, of course he is only weak against dragon, rock and earth, he lost his weakness to water. Rias. But the legendary dogs. Issei. Electric, water and fire, of course fire will not be effective against him, as for electric and water they are neutral, they will hurt him, but that's all, there is no super effective attack. Rias. Then. Issei. Don't worry, those three know how to work together. Matt. That's all they can do. Entei. I'll give Suicune and Raikou a chance. Raikou? What are you saying? Suicune. It's risky, huh? Entei. I'm the only one who doesn't do almost any damage with attacks. Matt. They finished their talk. Dragon Claw. Entei. Burst Eruption. Matt. But what? The explosion of fire would be so strong that it would make him retreat, however he did not give up, he flew forward while the fire was expelled, and with his hand using Dragon Claw, he was getting closer and closer to Entei. Suicune. Rain Dance. At that moment the storm clouds were approaching and the rain began to fall. Matt. Seriously, idiot, why do you summon the rain? Don't you see that it affects your partner? Suicune. Rain is always a sign of lightning. Matt. What? Issei. They are smart and will use the environment of the human world to their advantage. Raikou. Thunder Thunder. Immediately the attack was launched into the sky. Rias. Issei, what are you doing? Issei. Throwing lightning towards the rain clouds, the fusion of the storm generated by the rain dance plus the electric attack will create a pure lightning that they can direct and throw, in addition to adopting the special characteristics of both attacks. Rias. I didn't think they had that knowledge. Issei. In a battle the environment can be used to your advantage, they know how to work as a team however. Rias. However. Issei. Entei will also suffer. At that moment, without being able to dodge it, the lightning struck Matt. Matt. Aiya. Entei. Aiya. The explosion of lightning would envelop the entire area, it was an attack of enormous area that ended up swallowing both Entei and Matt, also shielding Rias and Issei in the process. Issei. Book. Rias. My eyes. Issei. It seems that attack worked, his screams were clearly heard. Rias. A lightning bolt is not a directional attack because the area. Issei. Rain Dance is a ground movement, as I said the fusion of those movements made the attack adopt the special characteristics of both attacks, the force of thunder and the range of Rain Dance. Rias. Well, at least that guy will make his serious. Suicune. Raikou, look at the state of Entei. Raikou. Understood. Matt. Fire Strike plus Fire Wave plus Dragon Claw plus Shadow Claw. At that moment the Pokémon Raikou would be put to sleep in one fell swoop and Entei would be seen on the ground. Raikou. Suicune runs, falls to the ground. Entei. On the ground unconscious. Suicune. How? Matt. That hurt me a lot, bastards. Suicune. I have no other choice. Matt. Don't even think about running. He appeared in front of Suicune and with both hands he hit his back, pinning his body to the ground. Suicune. Entei. Raikou. Sorry. Falls to the ground. Matt. Well, now I have the three, I will take them to the hidden base to start the procedures. Rias, who saw the battle, couldn't believe it. On the other hand, Issei looked at the situation with annoyance. Rias. Shocked, what did he do? Issei. A multiple combination. Rias. Multiple combination. Issei. It is when the Pokémon itself uses its movements, combine them to create something new. Rias. That's possible. Issei. Pokémon have limitations, they can only use 4 moves to change moves, they must return to their world, however the trainer does not have those limits, we can use all the moves that said Pokémon can learn, our imagination shapes its powers, we can mold and fuse your movements, even create unique movements, but for trainers that part is not easy at all. You must have a high level to fuse movements or great talent. Rias. From the beginning when she used her mega evolution they didn't have a chance. Issei. No, if he had only that he would have lost. To perform a multiple combination, he must be an elite warrior, someone versed in combat. Rias. We must help them. Issei. Ah Buck, what's happening, why does this pain hurt so much more? And? Issei will not be able to go out to fight. Rias. For some reason the pain in your head has to do with those dogs. And? He owns. Rias. Not if I had Ho-Oh I would know, he told me all his legendary Pokémon from him and he was N''T on the list. And? The only way it is like this is if you have one that you have to do with those dogs or their history. Rias. So that's why the pain in the head. And? Exactly, some Pokémon inside is pushing me to wake it up and use it by force. Rias. Issei. Issei. Grabs his head falls to the ground. Rias. Issei. Why? Apparently he has collapsed, but that's good, he'll be able to go to his subconscious to find the cause of this pain. Rias. That might take a while. Leaves the place. And? Wait, what are you going to do? Rias. And lend me your strength, I will fight. And? I'll tell you honestly, laugh and listen to me carefully, I'm not going to repeat it, our chances are low against that guy, all because of your inexperience in combat, to tell the truth, I don't think you'll win. Rias. Issei is unconscious because one of his Pokémon is causing his headache, the legendary dogs are finished, I'm the only one left to do something. And? Damn, what a hard head, but I can't say no to my coach. Rias. Smiles come on a Veltal. The men who previously surrounded the tower put the 3 legendary dogs in a cage. Soldier. Sir, job done. Matt. Okay then, let's go. But at that moment before finishing speaking a blow was given to him, sending him flying against the wall of a building. At that moment the soldiers finally reacted upon seeing the situation. Soldiers. Stop right there. Rias. Hyper beam. Lightning would strike all the soldiers, killing them in such a way that their body would be split in 2, revealing their organs. And? Listen to me, laugh in combat, I will take care of suppressing your emotions, so that you can give everything and not feel compassion, since that in a battle could be fatal, that guy will fight to win or kill. Rias. I see, so this is why I don't feel anything after killing many people and seeing their organs on the ground. And? Correct, don't hold back on anyone, as Issei said, the bad guys don't deserve mercy. Rias. Good. In that, Matt would be thrown out of the building that crashed and would be in front of Rias. Matt. When I saw you. I already knew you were familiar, it's you, right, you're the one who made a contract with a legendary in Kanto. Rias. Were you looking for me? Matt. Yes, but what a beautiful coincidence to find you here, apparently my boss will be happy. Issei. I'm going to kill you. Matt. Wow, what a cold look, but hey, there are no more questions, thanks to you I got the double prize, the dogs, and you're beautiful. Rias. You disgust me. Matt. Don't worry, you won't be able to see when I put you to sleep. At that moment both collided forcefully in the air, creating a shock wave making both of them retreat. Rias. Shady press. Matt. Flamethrower. The collision of both attacks was so strong that it generated a huge explosion. Rias. Umbrian Claw. Matt. Dragon Claw. Shock. Burst. Blow. Shock. Burst. The collision of the blows was too strong, every time they collided they cracked the walls of the buildings with just their shock waves. Why? We need to know the weakness of the subject. Rias. I should have asked Issei. And? Although I am sinister flying, there are many in my list of movements that are not the type to which I correspond. Rias. I know, but also this guy. And? That applies to most or all. Rias. What about what I did with the guy who had Jengar? Why? That could be more than useful, but it is a one-way attack. A Pokémon like Charizard has great mobility and speed. Rias. What if I can mix it with one movement? And? It is one thing to fuse existing movements, but you are talking about using a capacity such as absorbing vital energy that only I possess, that will not just be fusing, it will be creating a new movement. Rias. I can do it. And? It's risky. Rias. I have no other choice. Matt. I don't like this, my energy is at its limit, those damn dogs took me to the limit with that attack, and that girl looks like she's planning something, I guess I have no choice but to finish this once and for all there. At that moment a crimson energy would wrap around Ria's hand. Rias. I'll use my ability that steals life energy plus the Shadow Claw, only then will I guarantee to hit him. The red energy enveloped Ria's hand, when she used it with a shadowy claw she created a new movement, the pressure that this new movement exerted could even be felt, the energy in her crimson red hand seemed like it was going to devour everything. Matt. I don't know what that is, but I'm definitely not going to let him touch me. Rias. Devil's Claw. Matt. Okay girl, it's time to conclude this Thunder Punch plus Fire Punch plus True Punch plus Wing Attack. They both looked at each other seriously, and before it could be seen, the two would have already run towards each other to hit each other. At that moment the collision of power left a huge crater in the Ira City. Who had won? 2 hours later. Issei. Laughs. I have to tell you something. Where? He would notice that he was still under the rubble and she was not there. Upon leaving I could see a huge crater in the center of Ira City. The citizens were gathered. At that time some monks were talking. Issei. Sorry. Monk. Yes. Issei. He saw a red-haired girl around here. Monk. No, but most of the citizens are still refugees. Your friend must be among them. As time passed, citizens were arriving, but he did not see Rias anywhere. Issei. Damn Rias, where are you? Leading monk. You are looking for your true friend. Issei. Yes. You are. Leader monk. I am the leader of the monk temple in Ira City. Issei. Knows where Rias is. Leading monk. I was watching everything since the battle began on high, young man. Let me tell you that I could only see one red-haired girl in the entire city, and it was the one who was fighting against the cause of all this damage. Issei. Impacted at. Leading monk. They took her away from her. Issei. Thank you. Monk. Leading monk. Where are you going, young man? Issei. I have things to do. Leading monk. I understand. I wish you good fortune for your future. At that moment Issei was leaving Ira City. Issei. Wake up everyone. At that moment multiple lights were seen in Issei's unconsciousness. The shadows of many Pokémon were present. I see that you are angry. Issei. You can detect Ria's energy. It's weak, but as long as it's under the sky and the atmosphere of course I can. Issei. Well, do it. What are you going to do once you find their location? Issei. I'm going to kill you all in a brutal way by daring to touch her. Chapter 6. Awakening. Nighttime. 10:30 p.m. Johto region, depths of the dark forest. In that place there is a hidden base that belonged to the infamous organization called Cow's Rocket. Matt. Well, Dr. Gray, what's happening? Why does my body feel strange? Gray. I examined your body. I can tell that it all started after the battle you had. Matt. So what's wrong with me? Gray. Matt, you're dying. Matt. What? Gray. I don't know how, but you are. Matt. What do you mean? How the hell can I be dying? Gray. Look at this. Quickly a giant screen appeared showing vital signs, temperature, etc. Matt. I am not a doctor or a scientist like you, Mr. Gray, please explain. Gray. After your battle with the girl it seems that your body suffered more than I thought. Look at your body temperature. Matt. It's going down. Gray. Not only that, look at your vital signs. Matt. They're going down too. Gray. Whatever that girl used to attack you is killing you slowly like a cancer, although faster than cancer certainly. Matt. What the hell did that damn thing do? Gray. Look at this though. Matt. My vitals went up. Gray. These vital signs are displayed when you use Mega Evolution. Apparently entering that state can temporarily cancel the negative effects on your body. Matt. Have you identified the legendary Pokémon yet? Gray. We are working on it, don't despair, there is no risk that you will die today. Matt. I understand, then I'll come back, I have to talk to that damn girl first. Gray. Do anything stupid, she's in a cell that doesn't allow her to use her powers, and if you free her because of a tantrum on your part of her it will be problematic, you know we re-underground, right? Matt. Understood. This would leave Dr. Gray alone, he would sit at his high-tech desk and by pressing a button a holographic screen would appear. Gray. Doctor, scientists have already identified the girl's Pokémon. Doctor, no Mr. Gray, however, they say they are close to identifying him, don't worry, we will soon have answers. Gray. I understand, and how is the preparation going to summon Ho-Oh? Doctor. Everything is going as planned, but shouldn't we form the contracts first? Gray. I don't want to take any risks, they can be stubborn and suppress their power even with the contract established, but if we leave them in their natural form, Ho-Oh will be summoned with certainty. Send me an email when you have finished identifying the Pokémon, and let me know directly when you finish with Ho-Oh's preparations. Doctor. Understood. He would calmly cut off the video call as he leaned back in his chair. With Rias. She was locked in a high-tech cell, there was a barrier that prevented her from leaving, and she couldn't use her powers inside her. That's when Matt came to see her. Rias. I didn't expect to see your face again. Matt. You talk a lot, you know, since I'm the winner I'm leaving you here. Rias. The battle was a draw in my opinion. Matt. Seriously, you're here, how is that a tie? Rias. Because you are dying. Smiles. Matt. Hits the barrier hard. What the hell did you do to me? Rias. To tell you the truth, I won't tell you, besides it was a movement that I invented in the process, I didn't think it would work so well. Matt. Don't try to be rude, aren't you afraid of what I can do to you? Rias. What can you do to me? Start a fight in your own base. Matt. Damn, I knew you wouldn't give me the answers, but I'll tell you something, the boy you were with, I'll go get him and kill him. At that moment Ria's gaze became colder and with murderous intensity. Rias. He can easily defeat a piece of trash like you, and I'll do everything possible to get out of here, and I'll kill you if I find out that you're doing something to him, you bastard. Matt. Ha, locked up there you won't do anything, I'll tell you what will happen when we finish our business with the dogs, we will take that Pokémon of yours away from you, and don't wait for help, we are 10,000 meters underground, no one will hear you scream. After saying those words he would leave with a frown on his face. Why? Wow, guy, if he thinks he's going to force me to separate from my contractor, he's going to be screwed. I do an apostrophe T think he'll find a perfect compatibility rate like yours in any of his men. Rias. Sighed, for now there must be a way out of here. Why? This cursed cage suppresses my powers, based on what is this thing made of? Rias. I have no idea. Ha. Issei. He will scold me. And you know normally that is my role. Why? Don't worry, we'll get out of here soon. Rias. You are so sure of it. And? That Issei boy will definitely come to carry out a massacre, he will be here soon. Rias. I just hope he doesn't get hurt because of me. And? Don't worry about him, by the way, how are you? Rias. About. And? The soldiers you killed with hyper beam was a bloodier style, how do you feel? Rias. Part of me is still shaking, and the other tells me to calm down, that I did the right thing. And? Rias, you will have to face that this can happen again, as long as greed exists in humans, there will always be those envious of what you have, who will try to take everything from you. I will tell you that the path to peace is a path of creation and destruction, a process that will be constantly repeated. Rias. I understand. And? I chose you as my messenger of destruction, as my contractor, as my trainer, it's my fault I got you into all this. Rias. I don't hate you, Veltal. And? But why? Basically just by having me you are here. Rias. I'll tell you what I see, thanks to you I have eternal life, thanks to you I will be able to spend eternity with the person I love, and I also have you, a companion I can talk to when I am alone. Why? You really are, ha. I can't win with you. Rias. I know. Why? Well, now we just have to wait for something to happen. Rias. That guy Matt, how long will it take for him to die? Why? That new attack you used is purely for killing, I dare say that if I had received it directly we would have won. Rias. At least we managed to do some serious damage. Why? But we also spend a lot of energy. Rias. We ensure his death. And? If you use Mega Evolution the state will stop, but that way is temporary, on the other hand if the… Rias. Yes, what? And? Issei didn't tell you, if he signs a contract with a legend he will stop dying, the damage we cause him will no longer be affected. Rias. But he has the 3 dogs in his possession and as we saw, his body continues to die. And? Means that you do not want or can make contracts with them due to special circumstances. With Matt. He would return to Dr. Gray who had called him. Gray. We identify the Pokémon, it is not from this region, its name is Yveltal. Matt. Yveltal, that Pokémon that is not from Kalos. Gray. Correct, according to legends he can steal the vital energy of living beings until he kills them or rather turns them into stone, a very dark Pokémon. Matt. So that's what's happening to me, I'm losing my vital energy. Gray. I'm afraid so, his attack must have made you lose vitality over time, that's why you die slowly. Matt. I guess I found a way to override it. Gray. Yes, you need to make a contract with a legendary Pokémon. Matt. I understand, Doctor. Gray. The dogs are in the process of summoning Ho-Oh, we wanted to keep them without a contract, but we can change plans to help you. Matt. No, Doctor, continue with the plan, I'm not going to die today anyway, there's still time. Gray. What do you have in mind, Matt? I notice you're calm even though you're dying. Normally you'd accept the change of plans. Matt. If I'm going to sign a contract it will be with the best, I'll do it with Ho-Oh. Gray. The boss may protest, Ho-Oh it was intended for one of the leaders of the organization. Matt. In the end there will be 5 legendaries obtained with Ho-Oh, if I stay at Ho-Oh and give him to the dogs and Yveltal, I don't think the boss will protest, the result is the same, the organization becomes stronger. Gray. Okay, but you will have to take responsibility, you already know the boss's character. Matt. I accept it now. At that moment red light sounded, a holographic screen was displayed in front of Dr. Gray and Matt. Soldier. Sir. Matt. What's going on, Soldier? Soldier. An enemy entered the base, is killing everyone and continues to go down. Matt. Gray put the cameras. Gray. Okay. In a quick movement the cameras capture Issei brutally breaking the neck of a soldier and then extending his hand towards the camera that showed him and giving him the middle finger. Gray. Who the hell is that kid? Matt. I know him, he was with the girl in the burned tower. Gray. I can trust it to you, Matt. Matt. Of course, anyway, if she captured it, it will help her friend talk. But Issei. This one was going deeper and deeper, killing the soldiers in his Pikachu transformation state. Issei. Then friend, do you know where they have a girl locked up? Soldier. I don't know anything. Please. Issei. Oh, but what a pity, then you are of no use to me. He slowly directed his fingers to that soldier's eyes. Soldier. No, please wait. Issei. If he holds yes. Soldier. I don't know what girl you're talking about, but if someone is locked up, they have to be at the lowest levels, since it's level 10, that's where people who have contracts with Pokémon are locked up. Issei. That's useful, what level is this? Soldier. level 5, sir. Issei. How many levels are there in total? Soldier. 20, sir. Issei. Fine, thank you. Soldier. Will you let me live? Issei. No, of course not. He put his fingers into his eyes, they were electrified with 100,000 volts. Soldier. Aye. That man's skull, skin and brain were being roasted. At that moment more soldiers arrived. Soldiers. Stop, don't move. Issei. Did you know that some trainers have such good control over their Pokemon's power that they do things beyond their imagination? Soldiers. We said don't move. Issei. Attacks like Iron Tail can take him to his hands or feet, and attacks like Thunder Impact can do things like this. Immediately a pure arc of electricity was created and released multiple arrows that pierced the soldier's testicles. Soldiers. Aye. Issei. I could pierce your hearts and kill you quickly, but where's the fun? I'll kill all of you brutally and painfully, smiles. Soldiers. Terrified. Issei. Whoever says Pikachu isn't useful is lying to them. Upon arriving on the 7th floor, Matt would be waiting for him, the area was very spacious. Matt. Are you having fun? Issei. Where are you? Matt. That matters, if I tell you she's dead, what are you going to do? Issei. I know they didn't kill her, if that were the case I would already be killing you. Matt. You really are arrogant, you're right, she is alive, but if you want to go see your girl, you'll have to beat me. Issei. Be careful what you ask for. Matt. You're strong, but I'll finish you off quickly with all my power, Charizard Mega Evolution. Issei. Pikachu, go rest, you've already helped me enough. He would return to his normal human appearance. Matt. You cancelled the transformation in the middle of a battle, idiot. Immediately this leap over Issei. With Gray. This was on the top floor of the base, floor number 20, there were the scientists who had the dogs locked in cages and ready to continue with their plans. Gray. Now bring Ho-Oh. Raikou. These humans are stupid. In that case the same thing happened that happened with the dogs before, reality was deformed, the walls between the two worlds were broken. Sukyun. We won't be able to bring Ho-Oh, we already told him. Scientist. Sir, for some reason, even with the warping of reality and the crack in the walls between worlds, there are no signs of Ho-Oh, and the energy remains normal. Gray. Why? Why doesn't he show up? Entei. It's not our fault. Gray. Legend says that when you three get together, Ho-Oh will appear. Sukyun. Certainly the legend is not bad at all, but it is incomplete. Gray. How incomplete? Sukyun. That's right. Entei. With only us it is impossible for him to come. At that moment the three legendary dogs were shocked. Sukyun. But what is he doing here? Entei. Impossible. Raikou. Maybe he's been here all the time. Gray. What do you mean? Scientist. Sir, look at this. He would go to the scientist under his command and then look at a digital screen. Gray. What is this? Scientist. Headquarters sent this information, it was recently so we hadn't reviewed it before, it's the complete legend, sir, we've only had part of it this whole time. Gray. This is impossible, the bastards at headquarters are doing us work without having all the information, they are a bunch of idiots. Doctor. Mr. Gray energy increases. Gray. But this is. Sukyun. Apparently they will get what they want, but not how humans wanted. Entei. He is approaching. Raikou. Who would have thought? If Raikou, Entei and Sukyun never meet, Ho-Oh will appear. But this will only happen if he wakes up. Lugia. But Issei. This one was with his hand stretched out catching Matt's fist with ease. Matt. How did you stop my punch? Issei. Awakens legendary Pokémon and creator of the Lugia Moon. At that moment a wave of energy swept away Matt, separating him from Issei. Matt. You, who the hell are you? The water began to surround Issei, his clothes changed as did his body. By the time the water cleared, Matt felt an enormous pressure coming from him. Seeing that shape, he could sense danger by pure instinct. Issei. This is where you're going to suffer. Chapter 7. Lugia and Ho-Oh. Tremble. Rias. What's wrong? Why? It seems that it has already started. Issei has arrived. But Issei. His presence was overwhelming. It was like seeing a totally different being. It was like being in front of pure power that could not be understood. Matt. Tell me, who are you? Issei. Clenches his fist. You are not worthy of knowing. Matt. Damn arrogant, I'm going to. Immediately Issei's fist hit his face, sending him to the ground. They had broken the ground and gone from level 7 to level 10 in an instant. Matt. Stunned. Issei. Did it hurt? Matt. Bastard, I'm going to kill you. Fire fist plus electric fist plus fire wave. Issei. Lugia, can you destroy that attack? Lugia. Piece of cake. Issei. Last power plus hydro pump plus dragon charge. Matt and Issei collided strongly, generating a shock wave. That shock wave generated a strong chain blow that broke the cells on the 10th floor. Lugia. What a newbie. Matt. Spits blood because. Issei. Are you still alive? Wow, you are tough. Matt. Why aren't you hurt? Issei. You are a warrior, but you still don't realize why. Lugia. A newbie with no room for doubt. Lugia's voice was also heard from Matt. He did not bother to hide his comments towards him. Issei. If you don't know why, I'll tell you. Even though our fists collided, your attacks against me were completely nullified. Matt. What? Issei. We both surrounded our fists with 3 movements, however mine cancelled yours. Your fire fist and fiery wave, which is a fire type attack, was nullified by my hydro pump, which is a water type attack. Your electric fist, which is a type attack. Lightning, it was nullified with my past power, which is a rock type, and well, the dragon pulse hit you squarely. Matt. Spits blood. Issei. 2 of my attacks were rock and dragon, your biggest weakness in that state, you know, super effective. Matt. I'll kill you. Issei. If I had a coin for every time I heard that, I would be a millionaire. Lugia. Issei, let's finish him off quickly. Issei. Dragon charge plus dragon pulse plus earthquake plus tremor. Matt. Eyes widen. Issei. This is for touching her, hits him in the face. But that blow he sent Matt down to level 20, going through the hard floors with his body. Lugia. Now let's help those 3. Issei. First I have to. But he couldn't finish speaking because someone approached him quickly, hugging him. Rias. Issei. Issei. Turns around, you laugh. Rias. You're fine in that way. Issei. There is Lugia. Lugia. Hello Rias, it's a pleasure to meet you. Why? So it was because of you that he had a headache. Lugia. It wasn't my fault, he had to send us to sleep. I reacted when he stepped on my old resting place, and the dogs appeared. Why? You were forcing yourself to wake up, you know that caused a lot of problems. Lugia. Yveltal, don't come to me and tell me about problems. And? That means. Lugia. You already know what it means. Issei. I see that you started to argue, by the way Rias. You can let me go now. Rias. Let's go, I'm sorry, blushes. Issei. Blush, don't worry, they did something to you. Rias. No, you're fine. Issei. Idiot, I'm the least you should worry about. Rias. I don't want to see you hurt. Issei. Me neither you. Rias. Issei. We have been friends since childhood. Issei. Well, your childhood, I had eternal life before I met you. Rias. The point is I'm tired of waiting, grabs him. Issei. Are you laugh wh, what are you doing? Rias. Say what I feel, kisses him. Issei would open his eyes due to Ria's kiss on her, but he reciprocated by closing his eyes and continuing to kiss her while he hugged her and moved his hands towards her butt. And? Guys, you don't think you shouldn't go save the captive Pokémon. Issei. Rias. Kissing. Lugia. They know how to kiss in the middle of an enemy base, it's not a good idea. And? They don't listen to us. Lugia. They should. And? How long do you think it will last? Lugia. They haven't taken a breath. Why? Well Lugia, how are you here? Lugia. Thousands of years ago. Issei found me in the Whirlpool Islands and captured me. And? Was it forced or normal? Lugia. Normal, I admitted my defeat. And? I understand, why did you never speak? Lugia. I didn't have the opportunity, and the others, unlike me, are evaluating Issei's companion, they want to know if she is trustworthy. Why? Everyone is silent for that reason. Lugia. We yes, but Pokémon like her, you know. And her of it. Lugia. I better not even tell you. And? Okay, hey, it looks like they're done. At that moment Issei and Rias would finish kissing to be in front of each other. Issei Rias. I love you. Rias. We continue when we finish everything. Issei. Yes definitely. Rias. Smiles Yveltal it's time. And. Walk. They quickly transformed and jumped through the hole that Matt had made with his body. At the bottom Matt had fallen and all the scientists approached. Gray frowned when he saw him. Doctor. He is still alive and maintains his transformation. He will be able to return to battle quickly, but we believe that the blow was so strong that it paralyzed his entire body temporarily. Scientist. We can't stay here if that person comes down we're screwed. Gray. Geez, so many setbacks. The scientists turned to see Gray. He was the boss in charge of these operations, so they were waiting for his answers. Doctor, do you have any plans sir? Gray. The lives of scientists are more valuable to the organization than replaceable warriors. Scientists. But sir leaders can. Gray. Can they? It was the headquarters' fault for giving us incomplete information. As I said, we're leaving, they won't have to blame us. Scientist. Yes sir. Gray. Doctor, I will activate the self-destruct, you know the traces should not be allowed. Doctor. Yes sir but what about Matt, what do we do with him? Gray. It's true he approaches and takes the Mega Evolution Stone. Things like this are useful for the organization, they keep the losses not so serious. Doctor. It maintains the state even without the stone. Gray. Doctor knew that the state only ends when the trainer decides it or the energy is exhausted, but removing the stone while the transformed person produces interesting results. Doctor. Interesting results. Gray. We'll have time, I'll just say that, now let's all go. Quickly the scientists would leave through an elevator that was next to them. As they left Issei and Rias arrived, they stopped in the air to see the surroundings. Issei could see Matt's body still transformed. Rias. Issei the dogs. Issei. We have to free them, but first, let's get this guy off of us. Rias. Where is it? Issei. Shocked I was there you should be careful. Rias. Het turns around. Matt. Fire fist. Issei reacted quickly, pulling Rias towards him and using his other hand to block the blow. Issei. You really are a pain. Matt. I will kill you. Rias. Issei I will help you. Issei. Rias wait. Rias. Hey what's going on? Issei. I'll take care of him, you free the legendary dogs. Rias. Okay, be careful. This would quickly go to the cages leaving Issei with Matt. Lugia. The boy's energy is unstable. Matt. You bucked everything up. Issei. Unstable. Lugia. Mega evolution state is altered. Issei. There is only one explanation. Matt. Dragon Claw. Issei. Dodges they took away his Mega Evolution Stone. Matt. Grabs him by the arm. Issei. This is dangerous taking the stone away from him in that state makes him extremely violent. Matt. Let's see how you escape flamethrower. Issei. I don't need it opens mouth hydro pump. The attacks collided, both took distance from each other. Lugia. In that state he will not stop fighting until he is exhausted or dies. Issei. Well, I didn't plan to leave him alive. Both quickly collided hand-to-hand blows at high speed. While Rias was in front of the cages. Why? You guys seem to be in trouble. Sukyun. Yveltal is it you, what are you doing here? Why? They are seeing my contractor came to help them. Raikou. What person in the world can be your contractor? And? Believe it or not, I found someone who is 100% compatible with me. Entei. What? Rias. Then they talk now I'm going to destroy this shadow claw. He would immediately break the cages that kept them captive. And? Mission accomplished. Sukyun. Human what is your name? Rias. Rias Gremory. Sukyun. I understand, thank you. Raikou Entei. Us too. Sukyun. Can I ask you a question? Rias. Of course it happens. Sukyun. We detected Lugia nearby, the human who is fighting with the one who captured us is perhaps his contractor. Rias. That's right. Sukyun. Okay then it will be here soon, Ho-Oh. Rias. What? Blow. Shock. Blow. Shock. Lugia. Can't you finish it with one attack? Issei. Of course I will launch a powerful attack in an underground base with several layers of soil above me, with Rias and the dogs here too. Lugia. Good point. Shock. Matt. Electric fist. Issei. Deflects. Above the base on the first level the scientists arrived, at that point the chief and leader of the team stopped. Gray. Dark Star Protocol. Alert. Alert the base will self-destruct in 4 minutes. All personnel leave the base. But Issei and Rias. This one who was fighting heard the alert and laughed anyway. Matt. Die. Issei. I'm tired of this. In a quick movement he would send him against a wall and then turn to talk to Rias. Issei. Rias, you have to go with the dogs from here. Rias. What about you? Issei. I'll catch up with you later, I'll finish this bastard. Rias. But since I get them out of here, all the exits seem blocked and I doubt they can fly like us. Issei. I guess there is no other option, Sal Lugia. At that moment Lugia left Issei's body, obviously his transformation ended the moment he did that. Rias. How? Issei. Explanations later. Lugia. Come up. Sukunente Raikou. Here. Quickly the three legendary dogs climbed onto his back and Lugia flew through the hole where Issei and Rias entered, in turn shooting upwards to make a sound on the other upper floors. Issei. Rias, if I'm right, Ho-Oh, he's going to appear, someone must receive him. Rias. I understand, please return safely. Issei. I always do it. She would leave, leaving Issei alone with Matt. Matt's body was reacting abnormally, the Mega Evolution form seemed strange, a drastic physical change was occurring, it seemed he was too unstable. Matt. Now what, you're not so tough without your legendary Pokémon, right? Issei. Looks at him. Matt. What a noble sacrifice, giving your life so your companions can get out, but that won't help. When I'm done with you I'll go for them. Issei. 10,000 meters underground and the place will catch fire by itself, it's perfect for your grave. Matt. You really talk a lot, runs towards him, dies fire fist. Arrest. Issei. Matt. What? Matt couldn't believe it, Issei had gotten rid of his Pokémon and still stopped the blow. Matt's eyes were shocked. Issei. Smiles, you know I have more than one idiot. Matt could only see it for a second, but he saw strange symbols light up on Issei's body. Matt. You are a monster. Issei. Goodbye, checkmate. Outside. Rias had gone out with Lugia and the legendary dogs. Lugia looked at the night sky. The walls between the worlds were breaking, the shadow of a Pokémon was present. Ho-Oh appeared in front of them, and suddenly it became daylight. Late at night, the barriers between the worlds were broken, placing that small place where they were in daylight. Ho-Oh? What happened? Lugia. It's good to see you, Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh? Lugia, I haven't seen you in a while, since your disappearance on the swirling islands of the human world everyone thought you had died. Lugia. As you see, I'm still alive and you're still flying around the Pokémon world. Ho-Oh? I do it sometimes but not so often anymore, I haven't seen the human world for a long time, but looks at Rias, I didn't expect that you and Veltal will find a contractor. And? Well, that's how it was. Ho-Oh? I see, it's interesting. Rias. Excuse me, I can explain the situation that brought you here. Ho-Oh? Oh, then go ahead please, I want to know what triggered my summoning here. Rias quickly explained to Ho-Oh the situation that led to all this, the capture of the legendary dogs at the hands of an evil organization, Issei and Lugia, etc. Rias. That's it, that's how we end up here. Ho-Oh? Wow, now I understand everything clearly, the greed of humans never ceases to surprise me. Lugia. You know not everyone is like that. Ho-Oh? I know better than anyone, I know that they can also love, that is why I do not hold any evil desire towards humanity, but that does not change that I detest those who do evil. At that moment all the legendary Pokémon were paralyzed, then they felt an enormously powerful presence. At the base of the cow's rocket a beam of light shot into the sky and immediately the entire base exploded. Quickly that ray of light began to fall from the sky. Ho-Oh? This presence is Lugia. My contractor made a contract with him a long time ago, I lost a battle with him, I didn't know at the time that I owned him. Ho-Oh? Even I must tell you that it is dangerous. Rias. Issei. At that point Issei approached Ria's location, when he arrived smoke was still coming out of her body. Issei. Memory Yoder. Rias. Issei, are you okay? Issei. Yes. Thanks for asking. Rias. What happened to Matt? Issei. He's finished and he won't bother us anymore. Ho-Oh? You are the Lugia contractor, interesting. Issei. Ho-Oh, right, in the end all this ended for the better, you were not captured. Ho-Oh? Ha, even if they summon me, capturing me is another story. Issei. Certainly, but surely they were prepared for you, maybe they would have used some traps. Ho-Oh? That's certainly what I can expect from malicious humans. Rias. Then everyone can return home. Ho-Oh? Raikou, Sukyun and Entei without problem, but in the end this is nothing more than a temporary solution. Issei. You know it too, right? Ho-Oh? Yes. Rias. Explain what's going on. Issei. We stopped the plans of that evil organization today, but will we be here tomorrow to stop them? They won't stop until they have Ho-Oh and make a contract with him, maybe we stop them, but it was only temporary, they can go back for the dogs to summon him and make sure that Lugia's presence is not needed to do it. Rias. So all this was in vain. Issei. Nothing is in vain, Rias, we stopped them. If they had not done anything, maybe they would have succeeded, but it is true that they can try again. Ho-Oh. That's why I decided to make a contract. At that moment everyone was shocked by what Ho-Oh said, except for Issei. Raikou? What did Mr. Ho-Oh say? Rias. You will really make a contract? Sukyun. Are you sure about this? Ho-Oh. That's right. Entei. Certainly you can no longer be summoned in this way, but where will you find a contractor? Ho-Oh. Looks at Rias. Rias. Shocked and me, but me how? Ho-Oh. A heart full of hope and a warm reddish fire that never goes out. I see that your compatibility with me is 100%. Lugia. What? And? Because you are surprised, Lugia, you know that each Pokémon has its own compatibility standards. Issei. I certainly didn't expect that. Rias. Issei, what do I do? Issei. To tell the truth, the legendary dogs will become a secondary objective, but as soon as you get Ho-Oh they will come for you. Rias. And, what do you say? Why? I have no problem at all. Rias. Then if it's okay with you, I agree to be your coach. Ho-Oh. Good. Immediately the contract began to be formed. Ho-Oh's voice rang out all over the place. You who have great hope. You who give hope. You are the one who flies free on the skies. Who loves and gives love. You are the rainbow. You are my companion, the companion of hope. Following that, Ho-Oh had disappeared, now it was inside Ria's body. Issei. Looks like it worked. Ho-Oh. That's a contract, interesting. Rias. I don't feel different. Issei. You don't need to feel different to know that you have become stronger, what you lack is understanding. Entei. Humans, we thank you. Raikou. I hope we see each other again in the future. Sukyun. My most sincere blessings. With those words, the three of them would leave the place, leaving Rias and Issei alone. The barriers between the worlds were repaired, it was night again, everything was back to normal. Rias. They left, in the end everything ended well. Lugia. Okay, I'll go back inside, Issei. Issei. Okay. Lugia turned into a light and entered Issei's body again. Rias. Will you teach me how to do that? Issei. I'll do it later. Rias. But how do you know that by having Ho-Oh they will stop trying to summon him? Issei. Because they won't be able to do it, the legends of the Pokémon have strong effects as you saw, just by saying them they transmit a strong energy that even opens the doors between the two worlds as was seen with the legendary dogs, when the Pokémon of that legend forms a contract the legend loses its power, that means everything related to Ho-Oh will be useless. Rias. That's why they couldn't summon Ho-Oh with the dogs, you had a contract with Lugia, you blocked the power of the legend. Issei. Right, it wasn't until I woke him up that the legend took its course and summoned Ho-Oh, but now with Ho-Oh and Lugia with contracts their legends to summon them are gone, that means. Rias. They will quickly realize that they lost the opportunity to capture Ho-Oh. Issei. In the end it was a great victory. Rias. Yes, Issei. Issei. Yes. Rias. Takes him by the hand, you know. Issei. Blush our Rias. Rias. We can continue where we left off. Issei. Hugs her, yes, definitely. He would quickly kiss her passionately and she would reciprocate from her without resistance. Lugia. So they want to tell their stories. Ho-Oh. We should talk while they. And. Believe me, they won't listen to us. At that moment Rias and Issei would both take off their clothes. Lugia. They're going to do it in the forest. Ho-Oh. Well, it's a group of contractors, not very common. Lugia. If more people join this could be problematic. Ho-Oh. Something tells me it will be problematic. Lugia. This only makes the future more interesting, guys. Why? If you say so. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.